I love the Cars franchise. The movies, the shorts, the Diecast line. I love it. But you know what I don't love? Cars 4. Cars 4 is a very interesting subject within the Cars community. Many people would love to see more wonderful additions to the Cars franchise. Others, like myself, would prefer for it to stay a trilogy. To show how divisive it is, I put a poll on my Instagram page, which you should totally follow, and here are the results. Now before I tackle why I don't want Cars 4, we have to ask, will Pixar make Cars 4? And the answer to that is, likely not. See, I hate to say it, but the only reason Cars actually got sequels in the first place was because of money. Cars has so many die-hard fans, but for some reason a lot of the self-proclaimed Pixar fans are rather neutral on it and could care less. On Rotten Tomatoes, which may be an unreliable source, but it is still a source, Cars is one of the lowest scoring Pixar films, beating only 2 films on the list. And do you know what those ones are? Cars 2 and Cars 3. And I in no means believe in this list. I think that Brave and the Good Dinosaur should be lower, Monsters University should be higher. But hey, these are some people's opinions. But when you turn to merchandising, well, according to Wikipedia, Cars has an estimated $19.114 billion in merchandising alone. Star Wars, arguably the most popular movie franchise of all time, has a solid $42.217 billion in merchandising, and it's been around since 1977. So yeah, toy sales do really well, but the movies unfortunately don't. Both Owen Wilson, Lightning McQueen, and Larry the Cable Guy, Mater, have expressed interest in returning, which poses a dilemma, as Pixar themselves have stated that they will no longer be making sequels, and I'll get back to that. Now the fun stuff. Why I don't want Cars 4. So far, the only other Pixar franchise to have 4 movies is Toy Story, and Toy Story 4 is very interesting because Toy Story 3 has one of the most perfect endings of all time, with Andy donating Woody and the gang so that they can be enjoyed by another generation. Because of this beautiful ending, many felt that Toy Story 4 was unnecessary and rather underwhelming, and though I hate to say it, Toy Story is more beloved than Cars. And if I'm being honest, Cars 3 and Toy Story 3 have nearly the same ending, with an older Andy / Lightning McQueen giving up what they love to be enjoyed by someone younger. This brings me to my next point. McQueen's story arc is finished. In the first installment, he goes from a cocky celebrity to a mature person who learns to enjoy the little things in life. Fast forward to Cars 3, McQueen is fully matured and is older, yet he still loves racing more than anything. He's unwilling to accept that he has to stop, and it's not until he learns how much Doc enjoyed being his crew chief that he decides that's what he'll do. If McQueen is to continue racing in a potential Cars 4, it would render Cars 3 pointless. If they were to stop focusing on the racing and more so on the townies, it'd be too much like Cars 1. And if they were to do a thriller film, as Owen Wilson once suggested, you would have another Cars 2 issue, and as previously established, Cars 2 ain't the most popular. McQueen couldn't be the focus anymore. So who would be the main protagonist? Cruz Ramirez would be the only logical person, and Cruz is not a very good character. Her whole thing was that she wanted a shot at racing. She got her shot. What else is there for her to do? I just can't think of a decent plot for a 4th installment that wouldn't be a ripoff of the previous movies, or that would actually be interesting and please Cars fans and Pixar fans alike. Back to Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy. They both would be down for another movie. I'm sure Bonnie Hunt, who plays Sally, would be as well. And though Pixar stated they won't make any more sequels, Cars makes so much money that Disney, who owns Pixar, couldn't resist the chance to make something else. I mean, Disney milked the Star Wars franchise till it exploded with angry fans. So here's my pitch to Disney or Pixar. Jay Ward, if you're watching this, you better listen carefully. We go back a few years and you make a spin-off series, exclusive to Disney+. 10-minute long episodes that focus on anything. Mater searching for his hood, McQueen racing in 2014, Cruz racing in 2018, however you want. No real overarching plot or anything, just random stuff happening in every episode, with revolving any character from the franchise. Heck, you could even go back and recreate the old storytellers as full animations. But hey, that's just my opinion. Maybe you want Cars 4, maybe you don't. Here's what my friends and fellow YouTubers, EpicGreenThunder and Sensei Luminous, have to say.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you for having me here. And I know this the entire point of this video is your opinions on why you don't want a Cars 4. But today I'm actually going to share my opinions on why I do want a Cars 4. And it's probably from a completely different standpoint than what you were thinking it's going to be. Now, obviously Cars 3 was not very popular among the Cars community. I mean, a lot of them still like it. Personally, Cars still remains my favorite. Cars 2, second favorite, and Cars 3 is probably last, although when it first came out I actually loved it. But after, kind of learning some more things about Cars 3 and, learning more about what I actually felt like should have happened, I've some interesting reasons as to why I want a Cars 4. So, obviously, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet somehow, in Cars 3, Cruz does the flip over Jackson Storm and she wins, getting the W for Team Prestige. Yeah, let's go. But, I mean, not a lot of people liked that McQueen just kind of gave up and let another racer just take his place that easily. Now, I was actually not under the impression that was the way that was going to end. I mean, well, I knew that's what happened, but after watching the movie, I was actually under the impression that McQueen was still racing. To me, it didn't look like he was quite done, because, as you saw, Cruz signed on to Dynaco, which left her Estes spot completely open, and I'm pretty sure that McQueen actually returned to Restes, or didn't return. He's going to continue to race with Restes, and I don't know how many people actually have figured that out. I'm pretty sure that's what happened here. Meaning McQueen can still race, meaning he didn't officially get replaced, although he definitely won't be as good. A lot of people don't want a Cars 4 just because they don't want to have that whole storyline and all that. But I think if a Cars 3 were to focus more on McQueen racing, having some fun, just casual fun racing, like it would almost be like an extended short where you're just having fun racing Cruz. Maybe he's like helping train some of the new next gens, like Go Check or Jonas Carver's. He's just helping them out. I think that would be a pretty cool premise, but obviously, if they were to do a Cars 4, there's an extremely low chance that something like that would even happen. Now, over the past few months, I've been kind of not focusing on the actual storyline of Cars, but rather what's actually in the movie, specifically the background characters. Now, this isn't, as I said, it's going to be an interesting standpoint, but I'd want a Cars 4 simply just to see all those background characters, which sounds super weird at first, but to me it actually makes a lot of sense. Like, you can see these Diecast series got some race fans that have kind of gotten out, and race fans are probably some of my favorite Diecasts, and if a movie were to focus completely on races, we'd see so many more new race fans, and that could open up a door for a ton of new releases in the Diecast line. You'd also see a lot of reporters, which are my second favorite, as well as team members, which are also a high favorite of mine. So my three favorite cars, if they were to do a movie completely focusing on just racing, those would be you'd see my three favorite, diecasts, or not diecasts, types of cars that appear in the movie. You'd see all three of those throughout the movie, quite a bit more than you'd see throughout Cars 1, Cars 2, Cars 3. Although Cars 2 had a lot of reporters. There's kind of a bunch of repaints, but nothing can outbeat Cars 2 in terms of fans. There's just so many of them. But yeah, as I said, going through all these, all these screen caps, I'm noticing so many cool background characters, and just Cars 4 would just give us a whole new opportunity in terms of new diecasts, and that's a kind of greedy standpoint to go from. But I mean, that's sort of what I want. I just kind of want more diecasts similar to these four guys that you see in front of you. All very interesting diecasts, if I do say so myself, although I'm already a little bit less than the other two. And yeah, those are my standpoints on why I do want a Cars 4, and it is because I want to see more background characters. And that is plain and simple. Not only do I want to see more cool background characters in the movie themselves, I also want to see them release as diecasts, and that would open up a whole new door for some new things. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Sensei Luminous here, and I will share my thoughts on whether I want a Cars 4 to happen. Honestly, I'd rather if it didn't. Now, I know that might sound bad, but hear me out on this. So, first of all, I'd much prefer some backstory on the townies. Because the townies were barely in Cars 3. We didn't get much of them at all, which was a crime. And I want more of them. And I think the best way to do it would be to show, like, how they got into Radiator Springs. Or how they, what they were like before Radiator Springs. And I think a Disney Plus series would do that much better than a movie could, because it could showcase, like, how the townies got there. It could showcase an episode on each townie. Like an episode for Mater, an episode for Sally, etc., etc. And the second point I have for not wanting a Cars 4 is the fact that if we got a Cars 4, it would hurt the Diecast line in the long run. Now, I know what people might be thinking, but whoa, wait a minute. We get a bunch of new cars to get in the Diecast line. That would be great. Well, yeah, that would be great, but it would also mean that the first two movies likely wouldn't even get as much spotlight as they are now, which isn't much, especially for Cars 2. And I don't want that, because once I'm gonna stay hopeful and hope that Mattel gets back on track to giving all three movies equal spotlight in the Diecast line. However, if a fourth movie happened, I feel it would throw the balance out of whack again, and we'd end up pretty much losing hope of ever getting some obscure background cars from the first two movies. Heck, I'm even thinking we probably wouldn't even get the blue gremlin with headset, who should have been released by now, but I digress. Anyway, that's my opinions on it, and I am out of here.
Thank you all so much for watching this video of mine. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and comment down below. You can subscribe to my channel, as well as the EpicGreenThunder and Sensei Luminous, and watch another video I did with them about Thailand versus China. Thanks folks for watching. I'll see you in another one. Diecast, signing out.